Set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
And what an honor and a pleasure to welcome our weeks by welcoming such a powerful person, a healer, to the show. She is a yoga teacher, a meditation instructor, a sound healer and sound bath specialist, a life coach, and so much more. It is time for Mindful Monday with Saharah Ali.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. I'd like to dedicate this Mindful Monday meditation to Robin Ayers, a very special soul, a very powerful soul, because this Mindful Monday, we're focusing on the full moon that's coming up on Sunday in Gemini, and someone who spoke truth and light and educated us and gave us wisdom. And so I'd like to dedicate this Mindful Monday to Robin. So welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right by setting positive intentions to honor our minds and bodies through meditation, prayer, and affirmation, affirming our wholeness as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with wisdom, power, truth, and faith. The celestial influences this week is the last full moon in Gemini. What a joke the universe has given to us, a full moon in Gemini, twins, multiple personalities, everything to end 2024 Sunday at 3:02 a.m. It's opening the space for us to dive in, processing our highest intention to manifest our best 2025. This full moon Gemini opens space for stability, balance, wisdom, clarity, giving structure to our dreams and wishes, strengthening our spirits to help release stagnation. The call to action is to remember our purpose, to stand in truth, to communicate wholeness, and awaken to our personal power, inviting our souls to navigate unapologetically. It is so important that we pick up our power at this time. The task is releasing the past, aiding healing and transformation, and building new foundations, building new structures so that we can manifest fulfillment. This is a very cathartic full moon, supporting our call to action, aiding inner wisdom, that deep truth that we all know, the one that our grandmothers would say, listen to the voice within, our innate knowingness. It's opening the journey to the world behind our eyes so that we can embrace personal power. We can empower ourselves and stop looking outside of ourselves for the answers that we already know. So take a breath, and going forward, let's lean into our Mindful Monday meditation. Take a big breath and anchor yourself. Anchor yourself and feel your feet to the earth and just breathe. Breathe, connecting to your purpose, connecting to your wisdom, rooting and aligning to your soul's fulfillment, and sending light and blessing to all the souls that are crossing over at this time, but also the souls that are standing on the front line and all the unseen ancestors willing to support us in this time to pick up our power. So just breathe. Breathe and be here now in this moment, in this time and space, holding the love in your heart, holding compassion, holding inner wisdom, holding truth. Relax. Let go. And let's call on the power of the divine. Let's call on the wholeness within. Let's open to our truth. Just relax and breathe and mindfully connect to your breath. And now listen. Listen to your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Relax, just breathe. And inhale, listen to your guidance. Listen to that wisdom within. And as you exhale, be in this moment connecting to your breath, because breath is the key to life. Breath is the tool that we have, as the shaman says, as the elder says, at this time, for us to transcend all of this illusion that's going on in front of us that we are making real. Give yourself permission to lean into your divine self and just breathe. And listen with love. Listen for the clarity with each breath. Allow yourself to relax. Take a big breath and breathe in love from the Most High. And as you exhale, call on your angels and your ancestors as you surrender right here, right now, what's no longer serving you. Inhale and open to embrace divine transformation, leveling up to your wholeness, your goodness, your purpose. Exhale, relax. Sit with all of this. Sit with your truth, your wisdom. Put blinders on for a moment this morning. And now inhale. And as you inhale, visualize positive change that you'd like to have in your life, that you'd like to have in your community, like what you would like to have in this moment of time. And exhale. Listen with an open heart. Listen with an open heart, feeling empowered with self-love. And now inhale and relax and be here now. Be here now, ready to shift stagnation, ready to open to change. Just breathe and relax and surrender. Connect with the world behind your eyes. Connect with your wholeness. Just breathe, feel anchored and grounded. Now inhale, promising yourself to unapologetically speak truth, believing all things are possible. And exhale and just breathe. Just breathe and relax, quieting your mind to receive our Mindful Monday affirmation. Today, I embrace divine wisdom, speaking truth, honoring self-love. Today, I embrace divine wisdom, speaking truth, honoring self-love. Open yourself and be willing to connect to the divine wisdom that we all carry, that innate knowingness, and be willing to speak your truth, honoring self-love. You know, my grandmother said, charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. Self-love is how you start that charity. So relax and breathe. Bring your awareness back to present time, giving yourself permission to embrace divine guidance, speaking truth, and honoring self-love. Just breathe and relax. Center yourself and bring yourself back. And thank you, Dominique, Tata Smiley, Miles, and 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetic, mindfully blessed full moon week. And be wise about your life. Move with courage to align yourself to truth and inner wisdom. Shift your focus inward, finding patience, self-love, and a deep wisdom. And navigate the illusions in front of you and pick up your power.
So does that mean my inner werewolf may be coming out this week, Saharah? Full moon in Gemini.
Oh, yeah, it's a doozy. We not only have this full moon in Gemini, we have Mercury going to be wobbling out on the 15th. And the biggest thing is that we have Venus in Aquarius. It's going to be conjunct Pluto. So, Aquarius is Uranus. Its expansion is big. So, there's going to be this big expression of unusual dynamics, and it's going to be expansion of anything that we love. So there's going to be this extravagant dynamic of, unusual behavior, erratic emotions, but also emotions or erratic dynamics happening so that there can be transformation and change. It's like it's time to put truth on the table, basically. And it might be some hard truth, but it will be truth that will bring transformation. So the key is to be honest with yourself about who you are and look at the lies that you tell yourself and who you are not. And stepping into, and I'll do a show on it later, but 2025 is a 9 year. It's about closure. It's about shutting everything down. So we're like at the end of a dynamic for a new beginning, but the ending must take place. And so in endings, there's always closure. And in that closure, there's always rebirth. And so we honor all closure, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or physical, to open the space for the newness that we want to experience, because we are tired and we are bored and we are frustrated. And what happens when there is erratic energy, there is chaos. And in that chaos, there can be a rebirth. But it's important for us to have good chaos, have focused chaos, have focused, erratic, emotional behavior so that it will yield something positive as opposed to something destructive.
All right. In other words, stay prayed up. I mean, I guess that's for every transit. Stay prayed up, stay centered, stay grounded.
And just know it's going to be some crazy stuff. Like, what? Is he walking on the freeway with no clothes on? Like, really? Really? It's cold out here. And it's not even that it's cold. He's walking on the freeway with no clothes on. Or they just feel like they can just do this and think that we can take it. It's like, stay in your truth, stay in your light, hold your space, and celebrate the wholeness within you, and call your angels and your ancestors to divinely guide you to your purpose. Put blinders on.
And on the plus side, that Mercury retrograde wobble, or they call it retroshade, that means we're coming out of Mercury retrograde. You just got to get through the bumpy part. It means, definitely by the holiday, we should be in a more less challenged communication and a technology space.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, with Mercury retrograde, the gift of Mercury retrograde, which people don't understand, it's an opportunity to go deeper in your meditations to get clarity. So when Mercury goes direct, you are all set up to do what you need to do.
All right, well,
and
then
so it goes
take advantage. You got to win another few days here to get another week.
It's like reframe, review, reevaluate, renegotiate. And the thing is, if you started something, before Mercury went retrograde, then with Mercury retrograde, you can finish it. And you can finish it with wisdom and clarity and, fortitude and strength, as opposed to like, oh, this happened to me. It's like, no, you took charge of what was happening for you, not to you.
Absolutely. Look, if you want a reading for the new year, astrological or otherwise, if you want to get a jump start on your health and wellness journey, if you need some life coaching, I suggest you call Saharah Ali. You can you can leave a message or talk to her assistant and get an appointment set up. The number is 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. You can also go to her website, saharahali.com. And the sound bath is this coming weekend, right?
It's the 15th, I think it is.
The 15th. Okay, wobble out with that. Wobble out with the sound bath.
Come and get jacked in. I got some new toys. I'm going to knock you out. Mama say knock you out with a singing bowl. Hey.
This is the 15th of December at the Yoga House in Pasadena.
Yes.
It starts at 6, but
Whatever
you get there at 5:50 because otherwise you're going to get not just knocked out, but locked out. The Saturday is the 14th.
I love you. I love you.
Yeah, show up on time.
When you coming to get knocked out, I'm gonna put you on Front Street. When you gonna?
You said out when I go on vacation, so we got a little time before I go on vacation.
You and Miles on Front Street, y'all be like dodging the bowl.
No, are you kidding me? I love the bowls.
Mm-hmm.
I look so much cuter after I go to the bowl. It's better than makeup.
Yeah. Right. I forgot to tell them it's a facelift, too. It's like a whole body lift, right?
A spiritual facelift, if you will. Saharah Ali, as usual, it's a pleasure to talk with you. And, go on and put us on Front Street. We're ready to be challenged to be our highest selves. Right, Miles?
I level only, so we going up.
Indeed. Appreciate you, Saharah.
And just know, right, we're in this season of transition as we go into a new year. A lot of souls will cross over, and it's a graduation. Crossing over is a graduation. So celebrate their light, celebrate the gifts that they have given us, and bless those souls that are willing to go on the other side to support us. And big ups to Miss Robin, because she's going to tell some truth and open some truth for us to hear and see as she did in this life.
Yeah, rest in peace, Robin. Thank you, Saharah Ali. We will continue our conversation. It's the perfect time to call me, and if you don't call me, I won't take it personal. But if you do, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive and unapologetically blackety black. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Football is just a tool for me to reach other people, and that's something that my dad was just so strong about. My goal is to see these kids just investing in each other, investing in the community, investing in mankind. That's ultimately the only way the world would be a better place, for real.
Heroes of the Game, brought to you by Nationwide. Watch the full episode at cassiuslife.com/hero.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like it's almost impossible to keep up with what's going on in the world today, and it's one of the reasons why I said, we'll have all of 2025. We'll have 2025 through 2028 to talk about Washington and what's going on there. So while I'll track it, I'm not going to be obsessed with it the way that I was throughout the election. We're bringing back our Messy Mondays, our Black Marriage Mondays. We're going to do some health and wellness. Somebody, I can't remember who, I think it might have been Jamal Hakeem in the YouTube chat, who asked us to bring on Walk Good LA, and they will be in the studio. Etienne Maurice, who actually is the founder of Walk Good LA, will be joining me tomorrow in the studio in the third hour of the show. So we're not playing about getting on this well-being, health and well-being, creativity, interpersonal relationships, mental health, and just regular fun, because sometimes we need some fun. I'm in the laugh to keep from crying school of thought when it comes to politics as well as my personal life. That's how I roll. And if you roll that way, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Jacqueline Anderson in the YouTube chat says KJLH sent out prayers to Robin Ayers' family on their show yesterday. That was Andre Russell, my friend Andre Russell, and I love that for us as Black radio. I also have been really impressed and encouraged, and just to see the love that she's been getting. There was an article in The Guardian, which is based in Europe. There was People magazine and Us magazine mentions Black Enterprise. Really, I think the love and the prayers and the tributes that everybody sent out to Robin, Tabitha Brown, they think they resonated and created this incredible online and press tribute to her, not to mention the work she did, the excellent work she did both on the air and online, which left such a huge and beautiful story. So I've been happy to see that. So meanwhile, it's a messy Monday, and we're going to have two brilliant women from Keeping It 100 LA in the studio to talk to us about relationships. Yeah. Well, more on that later. It's Messy Monday, so the conversation promises to be rather messy. Meanwhile, the Syrian government has fallen over the weekend. And these are the days when I wish Dr. Gerald Horne was on speed dial. We got to leave him alone sometimes and let him write his books. But the government of President Bashar al-Assad and his family left, boned out, went to Russia, where they are getting asylum from Vladimir Putin. And this is a case where the actual rebellion comes from within. The Assad family, al-Assad family, has been in power in Syria for decades. First the father, then the son, under their dictatorship. The president of the United States, which is still Joe Biden, made a speech about it over the weekend. It was interesting. It was kind of like he was trying to take credit for toppling the Syrian government, but also giving credit to Israel, which I think is kind of strange. But nevertheless, it's you can see the video. I'm sure you've seen it. Syrian people celebrating in the streets, Syrian refugees pouring back into their home and celebrating around the world. And what Biden said, more or less, was that, we're glad this government toppled, and it's a perilous time because it could be an opportunity for ISIS or other terrorist groups to take hold. The rebels put out a statement saying that the people of Syria have nothing to fear, that they plan to respect all minority groups and have a fair and just leadership. We shall see. The dictator's palaces were ransacked. And it was interesting that the 45th president, who's now the 47th president, of course, he's in there tweeting. I don't understand how he's running all over the world, meeting with leaders. You're not the president yet. Sit the heck down. You're president on January 20th. There can only be one U.S. president at a time. That's the rule. But anyway, he's acting like he's already in office, already sworn back in, and he tweeted that we should stay out of Syria, which is interesting but also strange. First of all, be quiet, because you don't meddle in foreign policy when the sitting president is still handling a crisis. But on the other hand, it's weird because I'm pretty sure he'll change his tune when he gets in office. And Israel has something different to say about it. And European countries have something different to say about it. So this is, another huge seismic shift in a region which is already rife, as you know, with conflict and possible generational change. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. This week's business highlights include data on wholesale inventories today. Tomorrow, the National Federation of Independent Business Optimism Index and revised U.S. productivity numbers will be released. And on Wednesday, all eyes will be on the Consumer Price Index, which is considered a key inflation gauge. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield has canceled its plan to deny payments for extended anesthesia due to pushback from anesthesiologists. A federal judge ruled that the U.S. Naval Academy can still consider race in admissions, citing the importance of a diverse officer corps for national security. Students for Fair Admissions plans to appeal. And Moana 2 is still ruling the weekend box office. The animated sequel grossed an estimated $52 million in its second weekend. Wicked remained a hit, taking second with $34.8 million. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Rams won the highest scoring game in the NFL this season. They beat the Buffalo Bills 44-42 at SoFi. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua had 12 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Rams are 6-2 after a 1-4 start. They're a game behind first place Seattle in the NFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs needed a 31-yard field goal as time expired to beat the Chargers Sunday night 19-17. The 8-5 Chargers are still in the mix for a wildcard spot in the AFC playoffs. LeBron missed his first game of the season Sunday with a sore left foot. The Lakers were still able to beat Portland 107-98 and snap a 3-game losing streak. 28 points and 14 assists off the bench for D'Angelo Russell. The Clippers lost at home to Houston 117-106. A groin injury kept James Harden out of the lineup. Bones Highland stepped up with 22 points off the bench. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. On behalf of her precious family, it is with profound sadness that KBLA Talk 1580 announces the passing of our beloved colleague, Robin Ayers, on Thursday, December 5th. Robin was a bright light. You could see her radiant smile through the radio. We all respected her immense talent, loved her jovial spirit, celebrated her love of family, and honored her faith in God. Our thoughts and prayers are with Robin's entire family, most especially her husband Rob and her twin daughters Brooklyn and Madison. We ask you to join us in praying for the Ayers family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. In her honor, all this week, we're broadcasting the Best of the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. The Equinox EV and all-new Equinox, America's best compact SUV for new vehicle quality by J.D. Power, offer both confidence and style to see you through the holiday season. It's easy to see why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Award based on 2024 models. For JD Power 2024 U.S. Initial Quality Study award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment is 26.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25.
This new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back indeed. I'm always glad to have you, and you are always invited to join me on the microphone at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. To the point about there being one president at a time, our current president, remember him? Joe Biden. He's authorizing airstrikes on what he says are ISIS targets in Syria, claiming to try to stop them from rushing into a power vacuum and taking that opportunity to get a foothold in Syria. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, especially happening with this major transition in the U.S. power, right? And I say major transition because we're talking about extremes in terms of ideology, particularly the 45th president, and who will now be the 47th, and his cronies, right, who are clearly chomping at the bit to get in. They're already, like I said, the next president and his cronies are already traveling around acting like he is the current president. Shouldn't you be laying low and preparing for the next 4 years instead of trying to... Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, Biden, the actual president, is saying that the United States will support Syria, has ordered these airstrikes and such. But the thing about it is, what happens if all of that starts and then abruptly ends when we get a new president? Well, I guess we're about to watch it play out. South Korea, they had the president who said he wanted to impose martial law. Then he backed off of it. Then he, narrowly escaped being impeached. President Yoon, now his Ministry of Justice has imposed a travel ban on him because of that suggestion. Our former president, who tries to overthrow the government, gets reelected, rewarded with reelection, rewarded with this everlasting cult that won't seem to go away, and their president gets a travel ban. I mean, minimally, I think the 47th president should have a travel ban, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Let's go to Fred calling us from L.A. Good morning, Fred.
Hello, Dominique. Fred from Los Angeles. Thanks for taking my call. One subject, the death penalty. You've already said you're opposed to it. Just have two questions for you. Number one, why don't the people that's on the side of the death penalty, against the death penalty, admit that there's no such thing as life in prison without parole or life in prison? There's no such thing as that. That's number one. And number two, if you're really sincere with the life, why don't you advocate building a prison out in the middle of the desert, a 10,000 room, 12 by 8 or whatever they get. The prisoners stay in it 23 hours a day, come out for 1 hour to meet the Supreme Court, and then they go right back. Why don't you guys advocate for that, please?
Okay, you kind of are not making any sense right now, so let me see if I can understand what the heck you're talking about, Fred. You said that there's no such thing as life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, but yet there are plenty of people serving terms of life without the possibility of parole. Are you saying because people do get paroled? Is that your point?
That's correct.
All right, well, explain Leonard Peltier then.
What about him? That's that Indian guy. What about him?
It's that Indian guy. That's how you characterize him.
Well,
he's a leader of the American Indian movement. He's a leader of the American Indian movement and an indigenous freedom fighter who was who has been in jail for his whole life without the possibility of parole and is now quite ill, and yet they still won't let him out. So what are you talking about?
Leslie Van Houten just got out, though.
Who did?
Leslie Van Houten.
Okay, what's your point?
Well, the point is there's no such thing as life in prison, and we've been saying that all along. That's my point.
But that's actually not true. Lots of people serve life in prison and never get paroled.
Okay, that's true. But
so
some
then
do
there
get
is
out.
such
The
a thing.
Menendez brothers are
Of
trying
course,
to get out.
some do get out. If there would be no justice if some didn't get out. Some are proven innocent, factually innocent. Others have done great work in prison and actually rehabilitated themselves despite the odds and despite the fact that our carceral system is not really set up to rehabilitate people. Anyway, okay. And then your other point was that why don't I advocate for a mass prison in the middle of the desert where people are in solitary confinement for 3 hours out of 20? Because that is inhumane and terrible, and it doesn't fix, rehabilitate, or uplift anything. Like, what's the purpose of that?
How do you rehabilitate the New York City sniper that just killed the healthcare man?
That's who you're worried about right now?
Thank you, Dominique.
That's who you're worried about, how you rehabilitate. And by the way, the conservatives, MAGA Twitter is saying that shooter is a woman. Or they're trying to say that shooter is a transgender person. Boy, yeah. I mean, they will bend and twist and turn and anything to avoid confronting what happened. Now, look, and Fred, you know this good and well. I don't condone assassinating anyone. Not Malcolm X, not Fred Hampton, not even Mr. Thompson, the CEO of the United Health Corporation. But I understand why people are making gleeful posts and posts that seem insensitive, because while this guy is making $23 million a year, living his best life, the company is denying essential services to people who pay a premium because they call it, quote, unnecessary care, as the CEO of the parent company said in a video memo to his minions. He said, turn off the noise, turn off the conversation on social media, tune out all of the critiques of the healthcare industry. He said, what we're doing is preventing people from getting unnecessary care. So your $23 million is built on denying a child a motorized wheelchair or denying a granny Alzheimer's medication, and on go the stories and examples. And that's why we need Medicare for all. That's not what you were talking about, Fred. You were talking about how we need to find this person and jail them and put them in a 23-hour-a-day solitary confinement which, by the way, falls under the definition of torture, war crimes, unlawful treatment of human beings. It's not even legal under international law. There has to be limitations to, solitary confinement doesn't fix anyone, rehabilitate anyone. And even as punishment, it tends to drive people to madness, right? And extremes, making them worse and worse, criminalizing people, dehumanizing people, disintegrating their humanity. And so then when and if they do decide to let those folks out, then what? That's what we're bringing into our society. I'm on team care first. I don't know how you rehabilitate the guy who shot Mr. Thompson, the CEO of United Health. I don't know. But I'm not an expert on that, but there has to be a way, or we at least have to give it a try. Does that mean he shouldn't face consequences? He or she shouldn't face consequences for their actions? No, it doesn't. You don't get to kill people. You don't get to walk up on people, run up on people, drive by people, or deny people health care, them to death. You don't get to do that. I'm not for that. I'm not for murder. I'm not for, we were talking about this at the weekend too, Miles. I'm not for death culture, whether it's corporate or entertainment. We choose life, we choose love, we choose upliftment, we choose healing, we choose rehabilitation. Does that mean I want to coddle criminals? If it would make them rehabilitate, yes, but not as a general policy. As a general policy, we know that actions have consequences, but you're not a God, Fred, and neither am I. And what we need to do as humanitarians, as human beings that care about other human beings and want to live in a just and humane society, is advocate for consequences and punishments that make everybody safer, that make our society safer, and that don't take us further and further down the rabbit hole of death, destruction, and darkness. That's why I don't advocate for that, Fred. Fred called 800-920-1580, and I invite you to do the same. Really, I do. So much going on in the world. And so, as always, we have a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GSL.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this?
We didn't think so.
You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Right, so while it feels like the world is on fire, we're tracking it and praying and staying grounded in the fact that hopefully this is a reset. It seems like an extraordinary reset, but hoping that it is one that ends up on the beneficial side for the greater good. Even as, it can be tough to stay encouraged. Apparently there's been a massacre in the Haitian capital, in the so-called ghetto of Port-au-Prince. This is happened over the weekend. It's one of the poorest neighborhoods in a very impoverished country, thanks to the Western world. And apparently this is a personal vendetta. This is what the UN is saying, or no, a human rights group is saying. A gang boss trying to get revenge on an entire neighborhood, saying that he targeted the practitioners of voodoo because he felt that witchcraft has caused his son to die. 200 people murdered that we know of in Haiti. It's unthinkable that country has just had to tolerate pain after pain after pain. The New York Police Department over the weekend releasing 2 new photographs of the man that Fred was so concerned about. The man, we believe it's a man, could be a woman, who fatally shot Brian Thompson. Brian, that's his name, the CEO of United Healthcare. And there is this massive manhunt, person hunt going on with just about every law enforcement agency, federal agency imaginable. And Eric Adams, the cop mayor of New York, making pronouncements saying the net is tightening. We'll catch him or them any minute. We already know the person's name. Trying to really save face is what I think. Because the fact that someone could walk up and gun down a CEO of a major corporation and then escape on a bicycle, then a taxi cab, then goes into the bus station and the trail goes cold. They're excavating ponds and bodies of water in Central Park. I mean, it's quite insane. Seems like it may be a rather skilled or at least well-planned kind of hit. Some online are saying it's because of the insider trading investigation. I haven't seen credible link as far as that being some kind of hit. But it is interesting that, young people, kids are gunned down, individual people are gunned down in our cities every day. And we don't see this kind of interest or resources invested in finding the killers. I'm sure if you're the mom, dad, or spouse of a cold case victim, you're wondering why you didn't get all this attention and resources to finding the killer of your loved one. Let's go to Paul calling us from LA. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Man, I'm happy you brought this conversation up because this is something that's been really weighing itself on me just in general, where we are. You were discussing the situation with the insurance and the CEO of United Health and what transpired and the reaction from people that they're getting from the masses. One thing that people seem to overlook is that he was part of some inside trading with stocks that he ended up cashing out $15 million. And what's real interesting about that is he was essentially, there has been no accountability for bad characters when it comes to corporations and wealthy people. They always seem to get off of things. I would even go back to the housing crisis when that transpired, the Steve Mnuchin's, and that was under Obama's leadership at that time. And how those wealthy people, what happened is the government came in and saved the real estate market, saved a lot of those bad characters that played a part in that, but none of those bankers were ever held accountable.
Right, they bailed out the banks, but the banksters went scot-free, and many of them continued to rise.
Made money.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Mnuchin. What, isn't he supposed to be one of the people thinking about buying TikTok?
And it's crazy about it is he ended up becoming a treasurer. Like these things. These are when what happens is people become upset because they have essentially they privatize the gains. Right, fiduciary duty from the CEOs to the executives to the shareholders and the everyday working class. I was looking at some numbers recently, and don't quote me, but you guys can kind of look it up yourself. That the last 30 years, that wages have gone up between like 20 to 25% wages. However, the markets, the stock market, have gone up over 3,000. It's like between 2,000 to 3,000%. Now think about that for a second. Who made that money in that scenario? When things go wrong, Dominique, who are the people that first turn around to the government to come save us? During COVID, what transpired? Wall Street was taken care of during COVID. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people forget that. Those PPP loans, that didn't find its way to small businesses. That found its way to the top of the top that basically had those debts basically waived for them. But what happened with student loans? They put those things in court. See, a lot of people are angry because in real time they watched family members lose their homes in real time due to those subprime mortgages and bad loans that transpired at that time frame. And when it came to roost with the bad characters and bad actors, they all went scotch-free. And not only did they go scotch-free, they were all compensated some way where they made money from it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
that's why I don't get that people aren't feeling this, why this anger is, why people are like, the people online are going, yeah, no, we're not going to investigate. Like people on TikTok and Twitter who typically, sleuth and find out who people are. They're not doing it. We need Medicare for all. I mean, that's what the moral of this story is for me.
Yes. And therein lies the issue. When that Citizens United, I point to it because that's where things really went bad. Because even within the Democratic Party is at the mercy of lobbyists. So they've essentially walked their way up from the working class, right? If you could even argue that a lot of those voters that moved MAGA and towards Trump were once Bernie Sanders voters. And what essentially happens with the situation is people think things happen and move based on morals. Everything comes to economics, kitchen table issues. And when things go wrong, that's why people always tend to find their way with they want change. And in reality, look at the policies that he was running on. Medicare for all, minimum wages. So when the Democratic Party got all three chambers, we gave you the power. Why didn't these real reforms in real time? Why did the George Floyd Act? Why, people wanted change and it didn't transpire. So in that scenario, people are going to hold you accountable.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's selling out the progressive policies that they tried to co-opt. And I also think white supremacy plays a role. But hey, I mean, the working class is being pimped on both sides. And so the anger is going to be there, and it's going to come back. If it's going to come back onto the 45th president if the 47th president proceeds with the policies that he has outlined. We need Medicare for all, and that's just part of the portfolio. Thank you for your call, Paul. It's a messy Monday. We're talking side dishes for the holidays. Side pieces, side dishes. We're talking relationships in cuffing season next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. This week's business highlights include data on wholesale inventories today. Tomorrow, the National Federation of Independent Business Optimism Index and revised U.S. productivity numbers will be released. And on Wednesday, all eyes will be on the Consumer Price Index, which is considered a key inflation gauge. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield has canceled its plan to deny payments for extended anesthesia due to pushback from anesthesiologists. A federal judge ruled that the U.S. Naval Academy can still consider race in admissions, citing the importance of a diverse officer corps for national security. Students for Fair Admissions plans to appeal. And Moana 2 is at $52 million in its second weekend. Wicked remained a hit, taking second with $34.8 million. Get BIN News on demand